At this point, I'm sure everyone is sick of talking about the Warrior Mini and potential problems it has. But in this video, I'm going to tell you first off why I'm going to be keeping my Warrior Minis, and also multiple solutions you can use to circumvent any issues you have, including two very simple ones that make you think, well, why was I worrying about it in the first place? So if you want to know what you can do and maybe just make those proper decisions about whether you should keep the current version of the Warrior Mini and so on, this is going to be a series for you. So first off, what is the problem? So the problem, of course, is that in the pocket, the tail cap being designed for the cable push button, that is the tactical approach, can be turned on through metal contact. This is actually would be a normal feature. Most flashlights that have this feature are much larger and don't get put in the pocket, so it's never been a problem before. It's not something that was wrong with the flashlight, it just happens to be a combination of functions that don't quite work for this particular scenario. However, there are multiple solutions to keep any issues from occurring. So we're going to be talking about exactly that in this little series. Okay, so solution number one is quite simple, and in fact, I thought it was very interesting that in the case of the red one, I got this little sticker. It did not present itself in the titanium, but it was in the box for one of the red ones, which I thought was interesting. So the first one is, of course, to lock it, and the lock it is very simple. You hold the button, the low mode goes on, it goes back off, and now you are in lockout. You can no longer press it. It cannot be turned on. To unlock it, you simply hold it until it comes back on, and now it will function. That's it. That's the first and simplest solution you can use, and you'll never have to worry about any sort of issues again with burning of pockets, etc. Here is the second solution, and actually this is one that I'm really excited to show you because I think, one, this makes sense anyway, but you will never run into an issue again. There are different mode sets for the Warrior Mini on the back button. So let me start with the one. Let me turn off the other one so you can see. So this is the original mode set. So you use 4 different ways to use the back button. There's a short half press, which will give you a 100 lumen mode. There's a long press and release, which will give you the high turbo mode, which is what the magnetic connection will cause. And then, of course, there's a momentary high by holding it. So those are the 3 modes. However, you can solve your problem and prevent this from ever being an issue by simply holding it, pressing the button, and now you're in the alternate mode set. Let me show you what the alternate mode set does and why it fixes the problem. So the alternate mode set, which, by the way, I've talked to a number of people, this is actually the preferred mode set for use in tactical approach, where you have a half press gives you turbo and a full press gives you strobe, and it does so in momentary. There's no locking functionality in this tail switch now. So you have a half press for turbo, full press for a strobe, and that's it. And the beauty of only having these two is it simplifies things, and for people I've talked to who are really proficient and understand how these lights would be used in a tactical situation, maybe with a firearm, this is actually the preferred mode anyway. Why does it matter? Because in this mode, if this were to be turned on, best case scenario is as long as it's being touched, it may do this. Now, if I put my hand on this, I can actually let it sit there for quite a long time before it's even getting any sort of heat. Now I'm starting to get a little uncomfortable. If I were to do that with the turbo, I would have about 3 seconds before I could not stand it or maybe even get burned. So that single solution, by switching the modes, will instantaneously fix any issues. You will have no risk to your pockets, I promise you that. Because there's no way for it to turn on the turbo or the half press mode without, well, I mean, for one thing, to get to the half press, it's halfway down, and it has to stay at that exact pressure. This actually eliminates this completely and doesn't require the lockout mode at all. So if you're a tactical, you carrying this for tactical reasons, set it in this mode set and you'll never have to worry about this issue ever again. With that being said, I think it's pretty clear to me that I'm going to be keeping these, and I'm happy for everyone to be selling them because I'm able to get them at a much lower price. Thank you guys. I really appreciate that. In fact, I was able to get a second one that I can now give to a friend because it's $20 less than it was. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I hope with this video, maybe you guys will hold on to yours, because I have a feeling that once you figure this out, that you won't need to sell it. I'm also very thankful to Olight, who, because of how stand up they are about this whole thing, they're actually going to provide both an O bulb and these awesome diffusers with this as well. And the diffuser is something I'm actually really excited about because I think it extends the usability of this light once again by making it, well, also not just it, but also the S2R2, because yeah, I can now use them for floodlights so I can make them into a work light. That's phenomenal. So in addition to having that tail cover, which I don't know if I'll use it, but whatever, I may. It's good for storage. I can then flip it around, put it on the front, and I can now have a work light built into this. So I don't have to carry pretty much any other light that does that kind of work. That's phenomenal. So thank you, Olight, for doing that. And yes, I will happily take another O bulb. I love the ones I have, and I'm looking forward to the diffuser as well. So you guys have a good one.